YouTube, it's Taylor from Taylor Talks Tales, back with another book review for you guys today. And today, I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm reviewing one of the most hyped books that's on BookTube and Goodreads and like a bunch of things, or at least it was super hyped for a little bit, and I still think there's quite a bit of hype behind it. Anyway, that book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I also want to point out that I got a signed copy. It was kind of unintentional. I was actually on a trip back in October, and I was at the Pittsburgh airport and wasn't really even intending on buying a book, but I was just kind of walking around one of the, I don't know if it's Hudson's or whatever it was, and then all of a sudden I saw this book. And not only was it a book that I was interested in reading, I just put it on hold at the library, but there's like 200 people ahead of me, so I knew I was going to read it for a while, but it was also a signed copy. In fact, you can even see sign right there. And I just got really excited. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. So I bought this, bought a bunch of macaroons. Just that entertained me throughout the whole flight. It was great. So with this book, here I'll read the blurb. I'm sure everybody knows what it's about now, but I'll go ahead and read it to you guys anyway. And I do want to mention it's an adult debut by this author, even though she's a YA queen. This is her adult book. Galaxy Alex Stern is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. Raised in the Los Angeles hinterlands by a hippie mom, Alex dropped out of school early and into a world of shady drug dealer boyfriends, dead-end jobs, and much, much worse. In fact, by age 20, she is the sole survivor of a horrific, unsolved multiple homicide. Some might say she's thrown her life away, but at her hospital bed, Alex is offered a second chance to attend one of the world's most prestigious universities on a full ride. What's the catch, and why her? Still searching for answers, Alex arrives in New Haven tasked by her mysterious benefactors with monitoring the activities of Yale's secret societies. Their 8 windowless tombs are the well-known haunts of the rich and powerful, from high-ranking politicos to Wall Street's biggest players. But their occult activities are more sinister and more extraordinary than any paranoid imagination might conceive. They tamper with forbidden magic, they raise the dead, and sometimes they prey on the living. So, sounds really awesome. And I know there are a lot of people who have mixed feelings about this book. There's a lot of people who love it, a lot of people who hate it, and then just some people who are a little disappointed by it. I really enjoyed it. I think for me, not having a lot of expectations did help. I think a lot of people were super hyped because Leigh Bardugo did do Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I enjoyed those books quite a bit. I do agree with some of my friends who were like, those kids are way too young, we should age them by 10 years and then it would make more sense. And I agreed, but I still enjoyed the story a lot and the world building. I read part of Shadow and Bone, her first book, set it down and haven't really picked it up since because it wasn't quite my thing at the time, because I tend to be very much a mood-based reader, so a lot of times it's not the book, it's me. So kind of like there are just some books I'll come back to at some point if I'm clicking with it. So when I went into this book, I pretty much didn't really have any expectations, except I thought it sounded really cool. And I really enjoyed it. I think for me, it hit a lot of what I like in a book. I just love magic. Just like in my review of 10,000 Doors of January, I just love magic. I love really cool scenes and really neat ways to do magic and really interesting occult stuff. This also has ghosts in it. They're called greys, but they're basically ghosts, and I also really enjoy a good ghost story. And again, the idea of this potentially actually existing at Yale was really neat, and the world building was good. I liked it a lot. You get to know these different secret societies, and the Ninth House, which is the one society that basically kind of guards and watches over the other houses to make sure that they don't, like, kill people or, you know, send somebody into God knows where, or, you know, break any, like, really bad rules or laws. And Alex gets pulled into it because she can see ghosts, and that plays a big role in this, and I also don't think it's a spoiler because it's pretty early on. And I liked the character of Alex a lot. She's had a hard life, and it explains why. There is a scene of sexual assault, so just be prepared for that. Trigger warning. It didn't upset me per se, because there are some books I just have to be like careful about, because that is something that can upset me, but it didn't in this book. The way it was sort of like, whoa, but it wasn't like, oh god. And I liked that. I liked her struggles with trying to fit in at Yale, considering she had dropped out in like, I forgot, it was like 9th or 10th grade. It was like very early in high school. And so she's smart, like she's street smart, she figures things out, but she is struggling with keeping up with her schoolwork because she just doesn't have that like education, like formal education, and everybody else is like, you know, they went to private schools and they're like extremely motivated and all that stuff, so her struggles with that was really cool. And I didn't necessarily mind the non-linear timeline. I know that was a huge thing that people were not liking. I thought it worked okay. I thought I could see why Leigh Bardugo did that, so it didn't bother me too much. And I think also one of the things that people didn't like is it's a little bit of a slower book. There's a lot of times where there's always stuff going on, but there were times where, you know, there's not really, I guess especially compared to Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, I don't think it was as fast paced, and I know a couple of people didn't like that. I was fine with it. Again, I could just be like, oh, I want to explore the occult and explore the world and, you know, all this stuff, and just all these like really cinematic scenes, like really cool scenes, and like, what was that? The one thing I do really wish this book had more of was there's a character named Darlington. I kind of have a crush on him a little bit. He was just this like smart, really interesting character, and he doesn't play as big of a role in it as I wanted him to. And I would not necessarily thinking that he and Alex should have been hooking up and have a romance aspect of that. I just wanted him to play a little bit more of a role. So I'm hoping, because this is supposed to be part of a, you know, I don't know if it's like going to be duology, trilogy, whatever it's going to be, but I do hope he plays more of a role in the upcoming book. And so overall, I think when I first read it, I was like, 5 out of 5 stars, so amazing. I think now I'd probably put it at like a 4.5 out of 5. It's still really good, and I'm going to continue with the series. I would reread it. I'm glad that I own a copy of it, but I think because I read a couple like true 5-star books for me afterwards, I realized I'm like, okay, I was like really excited, and it's still very good, but I've toned down a little bit. Still definitely want to lend my copy out to a couple of my friends, and I'm hoping that they'll read it, because it is very cool. And Leigh Bardugo went to Yale, and so she obviously knows the place really well, and you know, I liked that a lot. And I liked the murder mystery element to it as well. There's just like a lot of things that they're like elements of horror, elements of the occult and cult stuff, and ghosts and secret societies and schools and all that stuff. It was kind of like check mark of things that I'm sort of interested in. So overall, definitely check it out. Just be careful of the sexual assault scene. It's kind of like maybe a third of the way in. And yeah, just don't go into it thinking, oh, it's gonna just blow me away, because if you like have too high expectations, I think it might disappoint you a little bit. But overall, check it out. Feel free to leave any comments if you have questions about it. At some point I'm going to go through and start doing spoiler reviews for people who have read the book, so we can kind of get the discussion going on that. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to catch up on all the books I've been reading and getting reviews out and stuff. Also, I really like the snake on that cover. It has like a texture to it, and I'm like, oh, I just love touching. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. Please, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Happy reading.